Greetings, everybody, and welcome into Frost Arena for a little bit of a double dip today. Jackrabbit basketball, men's and women's, both in action this fine. Well, I say fine.
Yeah.
Monday evening. It's a little bit chilly out there.
A little bit cold, a little bit icy there, but Jackrabbit basketball is on. You can't miss that. So.
No, you can't miss that. Two games today, the men and the women. The women taking on UT Martin first, and then after that we'll have the men taking on in-state team in Mount Marty. We've got a lot of action coming for you here. Jack's over there stealing a basketball.
Oh, yeah, he is always stealing basketball.
It's not like he has to have permission for it. Like, come on, he runs this place.
He dribbled between the legs and he spit it on his fingers and.
Yeah. Well, hey, we got about 9 minutes. Let's go ahead and dive into these two teams. South Dakota State versus UT Martin. We'll start off with UT Martin. They're returning to the court finally after 8 days. They've been off since Sunday, last Sunday, I do believe. And, because it's Monday. Duh. Yeah, math. Man, you know how I feel about math.
Oh, yeah, I'm not very good at math. But
no, math. They're returning to the court after 8 days. This is their first game in 8 days. Last time they were out, they beat SEC opponent Vanderbilt. You're from SEC country, and
yep.
I know how Vanderbilt is in the SEC.
Well,
but
we know Vanderbilt's not very good at football, but basketball they're pretty decent. And they're a powerhouse in baseball. But
it's still an SEC school. They beat them 66-54. They had 4 players that finished in double figures, including a game-high 19 points from the graduate guard Paige Pipkin. Charnice Curry-Jelks had 16 points as well versus Vanderbilt, and that propelled her to earn her second straight Freshman of the Week from the Ohio Valley Conference, with a combined 14.5 points per game and 8 rebounds per game versus Murray State and Vanderbilt. She became the 4th consecutive Skyhawk to earn Freshman of the Week to start the season for UT Martin. The Skyhawks are currently 3-5, no conference games yet, as we ramp up into the conference schedule happening here in just about a week, at least for South Dakota State, and I'm sure for all of the rest of the conferences across the country. Looking across to South Dakota State, they're 6-4 on the season. They're coming off a huge win.
Oh, yeah.
Not a huge win, but a big win over Kansas State, who was ranked number 24-25, knocking them out of the AP Top 25. They are now 2-1 against ranked opponents this season. In that game, they had 4 players as well reach double figures. That's the second straight game they had 4 players reach over 10 points. The Jackrabbits are 19-1 in their last 20 games at Frost Arena. And according to WarrenNolan.com, they have the 12th toughest non-conference schedule in the country.
That's wild.
That is very wild. So they're getting tested out the gate, and so far proving pretty well. 6-4, not a bad mark. In terms of individual accolades, Maya Selland leads the team in scoring. She has 15.7 points per game. She also leads the team in steals with a 1.5 steal per game. She's an exceptional player. She scored over 20 points 3 times this year, as well as scoring over 10 points 7 times this year. So she's definitely a force to be reckoned with on the court and something to watch out for. Haley Timmer, alongside her, has 10.6 points per game. She's been very consistent with 6 games being in the 9 to 12 point range. So she's scoring pretty well. She's been definitely an added help to Selland. This senior class for the Jackrabbits has a lot of experience, and they've also been showing out for the Jacks this year. Peyton Burkhardt is first in the NCAA in games played with 114, so her endurance shows a lot. Looking at Drew Gilton, the transfer from Utah, she currently sits second in NCAA in a career assists with 586 for active players. And Maya Selland, of course, she's 13th in career field goals in 656 and 15th in career points with 1,759. So that's a look at both of these teams. We will go ahead and step aside. Our first break of this double dip tonight on this Monday evening. Glad to have you with us here on KSDJ's YouTube channel. Of course, youtube.com/KSDJ at KSDJ Radio 971. We're about 5 minutes out. We'll take that break, and we'll be back right after this.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by Guadalajara's. Located at 1715 6th Street in the Village Square Mall, Guadalajara's specializes in authentic Mexican cuisine. Guadalajara's opens at 11 a.m. every day and closes at 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, at 10:45 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, and at 9:30 p.m. on Sundays. Weekly margarita specials are offered Monday through Wednesday. Guadalajara's, a proud sponsor of KSDJ 90.7.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You can ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
I spent a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. And in '09, it was sparks from me, your chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back in here to Frost Arena. A wonderful evening for some basketball. This crowd, we were mentioning it before. We thought it would have been a little bit more relaxed. Obviously, the student section not here. It's finals week.
Yeah.
And with the announcement that the finals for all the remaining classes are going to be online,
yeah,
a lot of them skedaddled out of here.
Oh yeah.
And I don't blame them one bit.
Nope.
To beat the storm, but. A lot of the people that live in Brookings are coming out here. Not much else to do on a Monday night. Thought they'd come support the Jackrabbits. So a decent crowd on hand. They'll definitely make the difference as the game goes on, as they're cheering it. Maybe even with the men's game, maybe some adventurous people venturing up from Yankton, perhaps. But we'll see as that one gets a little bit closer. About a minute and a half. Why don't we take a spin around the conference, the Summit League women's schedule.
All right. So we got Mayville State. Ville against North Dakota at 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus.
Man, that's a throwback. I almost went to Mayville State.
Mayville.
One of my high school classmates, actually a little side tangent. My high school's basketball coach and history teacher went to Mayville State. He's in their Hall of Fame.
What's the mascot of Mayville State? I don't know.
The Comets.
The Comets.
And then now his grandson, one of the people that graduated with my class, plays men's basketball for them.
Man.
A little bit of a side tangent there, but continue.
Then we got this game against UT Martin Skyhawks and the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. That is here in about 5 minutes. Then we got Colorado Christian going against Denver. That's at 7 p.m. So that's it. That's around the Summit League.
For sure. So, one of 3 games happening in the Summit. We'll also take a look around the world of college basketball as the night rolls on, and at halftime we'll take a look at that. But we're about ready to get things started here. We'll take another break. We'll come back after the anthem during the starting lineups, and we'll get you those starting lineups. You're listening to Jackrabbit Women's Basketball on KSDJ Radio. Be back right after this.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain.
Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Accidents happen far too often and never at a convenient time. That's why Dave's Collision Repair Center is here to help. Their highly trained staff will help you by working with both you and the insurance company handling the claim. The staff at Dave's Collision takes pride in returning your vehicle to you in a timely manner and looking as good as it did before the accident. You'll find them at 1019 Main Avenue South or online at davescollision.com.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back here to Frost Arena for this doubleheader between the men's and women's, well, with the men's and women's basketball team of South Dakota State. This first game is going to be South Dakota State taking on UT Martin. Definitely two mid-major teams that have made a name for themselves throughout the country.
Yeah.
That is for sure. The women's team definitely on the up and up. You know, the defending WNIT champs. UT Martin, you know, I can't really think of something that they've done. They've won the Ohio Valley a lot, and they've made it to the WNIT. In fact, in 19 and 20, they lost in the first round of the WNIT. So they're getting the national recognition that they do deserve. And so this is definitely shaping up to be a pretty good matchup. But let's go ahead and step in here, get the starters for you for both of these teams. I messed up and didn't have them up on here. You have them up on there. It's loading. I got it. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. So to start things off, we'll start off with UT Martin, starting at a guard, number 5, Sagan Robbins. Starting at another guard, number 25, Paige Pipkin. Starting at a third guard, number 33, Josie Story. Starting at a forward, number 4, Anaya Brown. And starting at a second forward, number 23, Sharnice Curry-Jelks. The Skyhawks are coached by Kevin McKillen. He's in his 14th season, graduated from Rhodes College in 1989. He's 255 and 165, and the Skyhawks are assisted by Garner Small, Maddie Waldrop, Kinley Harris. Those are the assistants for the Skyhawks today. Now flipping over to South Dakota State. Starting at a guard, number 10 from Rapid City, South Dakota, transferring from Utah, Drew Gilton. Another guard, number 13 from Rapid City as well, the same high school as Drew, St. Thomas More. She's 5'11", wearing number 13, Haley Timmer. Starting at a forward, number 20, the 6'1" forward from Mendota Heights, Minnesota, and Henry Sibley High School, Tori Nelson. And another forward, the 6-foot forward, wearing number 33 from Aberdeen, South Dakota, Aberdeen Central product, Peyton Burkhardt. And at a third forward, number 44 from Letcher, South Dakota, from Sanborn Central Woonsocket, Maya Sellen, standing at 6'1". Well, it is going to be a good game today. The Jackrabbits are coached by Aaron Johnson. He graduated from Gustavus Adolphus in 1995. He's in his 23rd season. He's done amazing things with this Jackrabbit team.
Oh, he has.
548 wins.
Wow.
183 losses. I mean, he's done a lot of stuff for SDSU. He's assisted by Carissa Thielbar, Megan Lewick, and Sadie Thramer. So again, for UT Martin, coming down at a guard, Sagan Robbins. Another guard, Paige Pipkin. Another guard, Josie Story. At a forward, Anaya Brown. And another forward, Sharnice Curry-Jelks. For the Jackrabbits, a guard, Drew Gilton. Another guard, Haley Timmer. At a forward, Tori Nelson. Another forward, Peyton Burkhardt. And a third forward, Maya Sellen. Both teams have been introduced here. The Jackrabbit dance team and cheerleading team doing what they do. Out on the floor. I could not tell you whatever that is, but that looks dangerous.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
My sister did cheer, and I don't know. All I know is a diamond. That's all I know. Is a diamond formation. That's all I know.
That's all you know.
That's all I know.
All I know is that they can keep doing it, and I can stay right here. We're about ready here. The Jackrabbits dressed out in their home white uniforms with yellow and blue trim, blue numerals with the name underneath the numerals on the back. Jackrabbit script across the front. The Skyhawks over here wearing their orange uniforms as their secondary color. They have UT Martin script across the front. White trim all around and deep navy blue numerals with white trim on that. The pinstripes, too. I just noticed that. Different color of orange pinstripes coming down the uniforms. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
We're all set up. Sellen's set up to tip off with Curry-Jelks. Referee bounces the ball. We'll get to the referees in a minute. It's going to be tipped and controlled by Sagan Robbins. Robbins, she's 12 assists in the last 3 games. Immediately gives it over to Pipkin. Driving up near the top of the key. Gives it over to Robbins again on the left wing. Now up top, Curry-Jelks, who skips it over to Story. Stops at the top, now gives it right to Brown. Now a handoff to Pipkin, dribbling out to the right wing. Shot clock at 6. Up top now is Robbins. Gives it over. Story for 3 on the left. Too hard, rims off. And that will fall down to the Jackrabbits. The referees today, Jeff Cross, Nicole Brannon, and Timothy Resch. A quick steal coming the opposite way for these Skyhawks. She gets one up off the glass. Curry-Jelks with the first points of this game. Now quick feed inside to Sellen for the Jackrabbits. She puts that one up. We're tied at 2. 9:05 left to go in the first quarter of this one. The Skyhawks working right to left now, dribbling up at the top. Going to be Pipkin. Pipkin gives it over to Story. Tried to cut inside, stops, spins around, and gives it to Robbins. Now dribbling left hand, tried to get it across, tipped away. Sellen finally almost comes up with it. A foul's going to be called on the far sideline. That is going to be on number 25, Paige Pipkin, the 5'10 graduate guard, gets the first foul of this game. Now Gilton dribbling across, stopping, gives it up to Sellen at the top. The Jackrabbits already have 2 points. We're tied at 2, 8.5 minutes left to go in the first. Gilton now a long pass over to the right side. Timmer driving inside, gives it to Sellen, spin around, put up, and good. Bounced around off of the rim, finally found its way down, and the Jackrabbits have the lead again, 4-2, ticking down to 8:20. Now Story on the left wing, tried to cut inside, double team, now finds its way all the way around to the left to Pipkin, driving up towards the top. Now Robbins on the right, baseline down to Brown. Now tries to get it more centralized up at the top once again. Pipkin driving, shot clock now under 10 at 8. Stops, finding a way to get it inside. It gets stolen away from Pipkin, and now back the other way. Back and forth, steals, now a 3 from Robbins on the left. It hits the backboard before it can hit the rim, but the rebound falls down to UT Martin. They're resetting now as the shot clock has reset at well. Dribbling near the SD logo is going to be Robbins. Gives it over, left side, Pipkin. Pipkin cutting inside, shot clock 6. Out towards Robbins on the right. Curry Jelks driving baseline. The ball will go out of bounds, a whistle. And it will be Skyhawk ball going to inbound underneath their own basket. 2 on the shot clock. A quick inbound, Curry Jelks puts up a prayer. It bounces around and in.
Barely got it in there.
Barely got it in. We're tied up at 4. Selland on the left wing. Picks it up to Burkhardt. Now down on the right wing to Timmer. Stopping, trying to find a way to get to it. Gilton driving up top. Now tried to find it into Selland. She's visibly disgusted as it goes off of her foot and out of bounds. Callie Tyson comes in for the Jackrabbits. The 6'1" junior forward for the yellow and blue. We're still tied 4-4. About 7 minutes left to go in the first quarter. On the right side, Robbins gives it up top, Pipkin. Dribbling between her left and right hand now. Kick out Story on the left. Shot clock again dwindling down. Pipkin tried to drive the baseline, gets stopped. The ball's in the air, tipped away by Gilton. A good defensive play as the shot clock goes off. Shot clock violation against the Skyhawks, and the Jackrabbits will get the ball. That's when that extra year of eligibility comes in, and the experience from Gilton being able to tip it away, knowing that even if they don't get it, they're going to get the ball here pretty soon because the shot clock's going to run out.
Yep.
Tyson tried to find a lane inside, gets tipped away by the Skyhawks. Now picking it up is going to be Robbins. Robbins this year's a preseason All-Ohio Valley Conference. She gives it to Curry Jelks. Curry Jelks on the left wing up top to Anaya Brown. Brown, now it finds all the way around to Story on the left. Curry Jelks now on the left, now back up at the top. Robbins, 4-3 on the shot clock. Kick out, long 3 from Pipkin, a little short. Foul going to be called underneath the basket. That's going to be on 23. Sharnice Curry Jelks, the 6'2" freshman forward, has the second foul of the game, the second for the Skyhawks as well. The Jackrabbits no fouls quite yet. We're still tied 4-4, just under 6 minutes left to play in the first. Cutting across, Gilton at the top, gives it down to Burkhardt on the right side, cutting inside. A quick pass out and a 3 from Nelson. That one will not go, and the board, falls down to Anaya Brown. Shagan Robbins decided to slow up shop, now hits the gas. Pipkin on the left side, dribbling up towards the top. Robbins gets it inside. Curry Jelks, a mid-range jumper, and that one is good. The Skyhawks have what I do believe is the first lead of the night for that team, 6-4. Cross-court pass, Nelson driving right baseline, off the glass, too hard, but Nelson gets the board, puts it up and in, and again, just like that, we're tied. The Jackrabbits break a scoring drought of 3 minutes and 22 seconds.
Gonna make those layups.
As you always say, it is the small stuff, Dalton.
It is.
Pipkin on the right side. Gets it inside, Curry Jelks, right elbow. Trying to find a way to work it, tried to go baseline, spins around, too hard off the glass, board down to Tyson, and in transition is the Jackrabbits. Has Timmer inside the lane, puts it up, gets the foul. The hoop in the arm's gonna send her to the line. Going to be a stoppage in play before we take those free throws. Timeout on the floor. We'll take it with them. You're listening to Jackrabbit Women's Basketball, 8-6. The Jacks lead, 4.5 minutes left to go. We'll be back right after this.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
A little bit of a scoring drought for both of these teams gets broken up. Currently, the Jackrabbits have an 8-6 lead. A lot of defense being played here. Also, because of that, a lot of turnovers happening so far in this game. The Jackrabbits already with 4 turnovers, UT Martin with 3. That's
Yep, I agree. So.
That's a big part of all of the transitions, and just not a lot of scoring chances because of that turnover game.
I think the Skyhawks are playing a little bit more fast with the Jacks to see if the Jacks can kind of keep up with their speed.
4.5 minutes to go in the first. Timmer getting a chance to finish the old-fashioned 3-point play. Out the line. Puts it up and is money. Timmer was named to the WNIT All-Tournament team last year. She's doing the small stuff there. 9-6, and now a 3-point lead off of that last basket and the free throw. Coming across in transition is the Skyhawks, clad in orange. I was hoping they would wear their orange. Nothing against deep navy blue, but orange pops.
Nope. I
like orange. Backed up near the SD logo at half court. Robbins gives it to Curry Jelks. Curry Jelks standing, found it, back door, couldn't quite get it to go is Robbins. The Lexington, Kentucky native just couldn't get that one to go off the glass. Now Sellen finds herself at the right wing. Sellen cuts inside, stop, kick out to Nelson. She thought about the 3, decided to take the lane, and I think that one suited her a little bit better. 2 more points for the Jacks, 11-6. 3:40 off of the Nelson drive and put in. Now Brown on the left side, dribbles up, gives it to Story. Story to Thompson. Right wing up top, Brown. Now finds its way on the left again. Story stopped up a little bit there. They found the back door, a little give and go. A mid-range jumper coming from Brown, couldn't get it. Falls down to Selland, and a foul now happening. That's going to be the 4th team foul for the Skyhawks so far in this game. 6-11. They trail, 3:15 left to go in the first, and the Jackrabbits have no fouls. Selland from the top gives it to Brooklyn Meyer, now to Nelson. Right wing, gives up to Tyson, and she, again, the foul, the and one, another opportunity to put another points on the board, and the Jacks are in the bonus already.
Oh, yeah.
They seem to be doing everything right. They're moving the ball a lot. They're getting it going. They're putting the points on the board. As Callie Tyson will step up to the line. standing at the line. Puts it up. It doesn't find its way in, but the board falls down to Sellen. Mathewitz up at the top, gives it inside. Meyer trying to give it to Tyson. It goes out of bounds. And another chance to breathe after that wild sequence of events that happened right there.
Oh, yeah.
13-6. The Jackrabbits do not come up with any extra points, I should say, because that one free throw was off of the basket. Jackrabbits currently on a 9-0 run the last 2 minutes and some change. See if they can keep the Skyhawks from doing anything. Dribbling up towards the top, Pipkin. Driving with her right hand, stops, cross-court pass, left side, Robbins three, hits the back iron and it falls off. And now back in transition come the yellow and blue. Nelson dribbling, stopping, kick out. Mathewitz driving now off the glass, didn't get it high enough, and the rebound falls down to Robbins. Now coming the other way, the transfer from Louisville. She had a career-high 26 points versus SIUE in the Ohio Valley tournament last year. Gives it off towards the right to Pipkin. Tried to get it inside, and another turnover for UT Martin. Driving hard, Mathewitz thought she had Meyer there. Excuse me, Nelson, and it just couldn't quite connect on that pass. It does go out of bounds. And the Jackrabbits will inbound it underneath their basket. Looking for somewhere to get it into, gets it to Sellen, now gives it up to Mathewitz at the top. Colbeck inside, Meyer trying to spin around, little post move. Did get it a little bit hard, it bounced off too hard off of the rim on the opposite side and bounced out. 13-6, $1:45 left to go in the first. Right baseline, excuse me, Cannon tried to drive in, and now a foul coming again on the Skyhawks. Naya Brown with her second. And that's 5 for the Skyhawks. Velostin in the game, Madison Velostin now. Colbeck on the right side, gives it inside to Sellen, tries to work inside the paint, dumps it down to Meyer. She can't get a handle on it. It almost goes out of bounds. UT Martin does save it, so either way it would be Skyhawk ball. Dribbling up now, gives it to Brown, shadowing the right wing. Now Thompson tries to give it inside, another turnover, and somehow, I don't know how that happened, Meyer was able to keep it in. Ticking down to a minute left now. Timmer trying to feed it up to Meyer. A lot of contact inside. A foul now coming on number 33, Josie Story. The 5'10" guard gets her first foul. And that'll send Brooklyn Meyer to the line. First one up, toilet bowls around and in. Meyer came out of the gates running this year. She had 12 points in her first game, which is the most since Maya Selland. That one goes up and is good, 15-6. Less than a minute left to go in the first. The length of the court to go for the Skyhawks, but they do have quite a bit of time to work with. Quick inbound from Cannon to Sydney Boykin. Boykin dribbling with her right hand. Dribbling across, now right wing to Brown. Cannon falls down, and the whistle's gonna go on Ellie Colbeck, the first for her and the first team foul. So now Boykin gonna inbound it up top to Cannon. Kick out left, Thompson cutting inside, and again to Boykin on the right near the Jackrabbit script on the far side of the court. Now stopping, Cannon driving, stops, pump fake, gives it out Brown, cutting inside. Shot clock at 5, gets tipped away by the Jackrabbits. Colbeck now, the shot clock is off. Down to 25 seconds. Burkhardt driving on the right side, gets stopped, gives it up to Sellen. She's directing traffic near the half-court logo, gives it back to Kolbeck, who backs up near the line. Down to 12 seconds to play in the first. Stopping, right baseline, 4-3. It almost goes down, it rims out. Timmer couldn't get that one to fall. Boykin picks it up, stops in the middle of the lane, and now a foul called on Timmer. She has 5.9 seconds left to go in the first. She gets it quick into Story, dribbling up, 3-2 at the point for 3. Cannot get it to fall, and that's the end of the first quarter. 15-6, I think a really good showing for the Jackrabbits, considering they're currently on an 11-0 run in the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
We'll step aside here on KSDJ. We'll be back with second quarter action right after this. You're listening to Jackrabbit Women's Basketball on KSDJ Radio.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write him a text or knit him a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write him a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by Guadalajara's. Located at 1715 6th Street in the Village Square Mall, Guadalajara specializes in authentic Mexican cuisine. Guadalajara's opens at 11 a.m. every day and closes at 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, at 10:45 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, and at 9:30 p.m. on Sundays. Weekly margarita specials are offered Monday through Wednesday. Guadalajara's, a proud sponsor of KSDJ 90.7.
To 6, the Jackrabbits currently have the lead over the Skyhawks, getting ready to start the second quarter of action. Currently the leading point getter for both teams. We'll get to that in a second. Burkhardt on the right side. I have to manage all these electronics, man. It's hard. Technology isn't always on my side.
Oh, man.
Believe it or not.
Not the greatest.
Yeah, Burkhardt up inside. Misses the lay-in. Now coming back the opposite way. UT Martin going right to left. The basket to our left. Boykin gives it to Story on the left wing. Dribbles up towards the point. Now out to Boykin on the right. Near the Jackrabbit script. Dribbling with her right hand. Swings it all the way back to the top. Driving inside. Pipkin stopping. Spinning around. Kick out towards the left to Cannon. 1 second on the shot clock. The shot clock violation. These Skyhawks don't even seem surprised.
They don't.
So now the Jackrabbits set to inbound in the backcourt. Gives it to Gilton, dribbling with her right hand. Stopping now, Selland, left elbow. Now gives it down. Timmer kicks out. Vlosten on the right for 3. Count another 3. 18-6 is the score. The Jackrabbits have the lead very early in this second period. Pipkin behind the back, dribbles it up, finds a way to get it to Brown. Swinging it around towards the right wing, now finding a lane inside his Cannon. Gets tipped away by the Jackrabbits. Gilton coming up fast, gives it Vlosten on the left for 3. That one rims out And the score remains the same, 18-6. Slow right-hand dribble from Pipkin. Pipkin had her season-high 23 points, 5 rebounds from in their game against Arkansas State earlier this year. Driving now, Pipkin puts it up, toilet bowls around, goes in, and gets the foul. Basket is good, and the foul goes on Peyton Burkhardt. It's going to be her first and the first team foul of the second period. Selland will come out. Tyson will come in for the Jackrabbits. And now standing at the line is Paige Pipkin. Also preseason All-Ohio Valley Conference. That one back irons out. Burkhardt saves it and gets it in. Veloston running up the far sideline of the court, stopping and giving it over to Gilton. She's trying to find a way for it to work at the right. Now Burkhardt, and finally gives it to Timmer on the left. Up to Gilton, bounce pass in between the legs, finds its way to Burkhardt. She comes up with a kick out. Gilton for 3 at the point. Smooth. No problem with that one, 21-8, and the Skyhawks still have yet to hit double digits as a team. Thompson on the right side for UT Martin. Now dribbling up top is Pipkin. Tries the left hand, cross-court pass towards the right baseline for Thompson. Swings it around to Pipkin for 3 on the left, and she seems to be getting going. 21-11 now, the Jackrabbits with the 10-point lead. Gilton swerving her way through traffic, now gives it to Timmer. Moves to the left, gives it inside Tyson. Now Burkhardt driving inside the lane, spinning around. It gets stopped. Veloston has the lane. A little hook shot on the right, and it's good, 23-11. They're moving the basketball really well. They're finding the open lanes, and they're most importantly, getting the ball inside the basket when they get there. Now Pipkin driving left baseline. Swings their way up to the top to Thompson. Now Pipkin, right baseline for 3, short. It bounces around, brought down. Drew Gilton, again, Utah's leader in assist, at least when she left last year she was, and I wouldn't imagine anybody's taken that from her yet. Veloston on the right wing, driving, gives it to Timmer up top for 3. A whistle is blown. Some substitutions come in. Ellie Colbeck, Brooklyn Meyer, and Tori Nelson for the Jackrabbits. Veloston, Burkhardt, and Gilton come out. UT Martin inbound, 6:17 left to go in the second, 23-11. Here in this second period, glad to have you along with us here on KSDJ. Pipkin cutting inside, stopping, spinning around. Left up top to Brown. Driving right lane, gets stopped by Tyson. And the Jackrabbits now coming back in transition. Tyson on the right, gives to Colbeck, dribbling up to the point. Now has Nelson. She dribbled up to the point. Timmer on the left, gets stopped inside, and that paint defense seemed to have stiffened up a little bit right there. 23-11. 5.5 minutes left to go in the second, swinging it all the way down to Thompson on the right. Gets it back up, Pipkin from Henderson, Tennessee. Pulls up for 3, short, front irons off, brought down. Feet ahead by Nelson. Meyer couldn't quite bring it down. They're going to say it's out on UT Martin.
Substitution number 33, Josie Story, number 4.
So now Josie Story from Mountain View, Arkansas.
Mountain View, I know where
Mountain
that
View,
is.
I know, I put that one in there.
I know where that is. Oh, Mountain View.
I marked it special just for you, Dalton.
Oh, man.
Dribbles up.
About 4.5 hours away from me.
4.5 hours. Well, that's where that's about how far my hometown's away from Brookings. So Colbeck brings it up. Now on the far sideline, gives it Timmer, dribbling, stopping. Now Nelson on the right elbow, inside Tyson. A lot of contact underneath. A whistle in the paint. Curry Jelks knows it's on her. She doesn't think it ought to be. But a timeout on the floor, 23-11, 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the second period. We step aside here on KSDJ. We'll be back right after this.
I spent a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. And in 09, it was sparks from me, your chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Accidents happen far too often and never at a convenient time. That's why Dave's Collision Repair Center is here to help. Their highly trained staff will help you by working with both you and the insurance company handling the claim. The staff at Dave's Collision takes pride in returning your vehicle to you in a timely manner and looking as good as it did before the accident. You'll find them at 1019 Main Avenue South or online at davescollision.com.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Coming back, Kelly Tyson at the line, 24-11. First free throw's good. Second one rims out. It's brought down by UT Martin. Now coming the other way, 24-11. 4:45 left to go in the second. Glad to have you with us on KSDJ, your student home for Jackrabbit Athletics. Charge going to be called inside there. Nelson inbounds it to Colbeck, the yellow and blue driving, and a pretty decent lead. Their defense is being a little bit stingy right now. It got a 2-minute, 35-second scoring drought for UT Martin. Now down to 4.5 minutes left to go in the second, 24-11. Man, that play sounded like almost like a baseball game. It's just like quiet, the little hum of the crowd there.
Yeah.
I had to be quiet. I was like, I don't want the coaches to hear me or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
You know, that's happened one time. I might tell you that story later. Behind the back, Robbins, step up, mid-range jumper. It bounces around, finally falls out and brought down now to Colbeck. Driving far sideline, a quick handoff to Mathewitz. Thought she had a lane. It closed up real quick. Nelson now on the right elbow, down to 4 minutes. Meyer. Tyson inside to Nelson. Finally gets it out to Mathewitz, and good awareness from Story to come over and tap it out of bounds. Colbeck replaced by Gilton, and now coming in late is Selland for Tyson. Now to inbound will be Nelson, the 21-22 All-Summit League honorable mention. Her Jackrabbits with the 3 attempt from the right baseline from Mathewitz, overshoots it. The shot clock ticks down and it'll go out of bounds as well. Kind of a double whammy there. So timeout going to be called by UT Martin. Kevin McMillan wants to talk about it. Well, the Jackrabbits currently still not allowing a lot of points, 24-11. Obviously, you can tell. But looking at the guts of it, they haven't allowed any points from UT Martin in the last 3.5 minutes.
Nope.
But also, on the flip side, they haven't made any field goals in the last 3:15. So they're still getting those free throws, and that is important. But to still maintain that lead and progress it even further, you still got to be scoring on the from the field.
Oh, yeah. And like I always say, the smallest stuff matters.
The smallest stuff does indeed matter. We saw it the other night with the last-second win, the men over the Eastern Washington Eagles.
Oh, yeah. That just goes to show you that the smallest stuff really matters.
They just clawed their way back and got that last-second lay-in. That was a fun game. that was a really fun game.
That was a blast of a game.
Wait, but this one's fun for a different reason. The Jacks are up on top, 24-11. Colbeck near the first Bank and Trust logo on the court. Stops mid-range now, gives it inside. Count the bucket for Brooklyn Myers. She gets the foul. She's going to go to the line once again. Sagan Robbins with the foul again, the third team foul for UT Martin, and Myers at the line. That one back irons off, and it'll go out of bounds. Meyer actually an interesting case. She started every game last year as a freshman before an injury in the final regular season game. She missed the rest of the postseason and slowly clawing her way back here in the beginning of the season. And obviously, I can't really say the beginning of the season now. This is the end of the non-conference slate. I mean, the last non-conference game for these Jackrabbits is happening on Thursday.
Nope.
Against South Carolina down in Sioux Falls. A little plug for that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Expertise master. Robbins over to the right, gives it to Story for three. Falls its way down to Sellen on the near side, dribbling with her right hand, finds a way past. Robbins gets stopped up as she tried to drive the baseline. Gilton gives it back to Sellen now, driving with her left. Picking it up, handoff. Mathewitz bounces to Burkhardt. Standing up top. Now kick out right, three from Mathewitz. That one goes in. 21-11. Jackrabbits break that curse, and they're now currently on an 8-0 run. Dribbling is Robbins, stopping near the free throw line. Now gets it to Thompson. Stopping, reversing her way, Brown, and now Robbins driving near the elbow. Shot clock at 10. Pump fake on the right side. Thompson does pull up. I do believe that was only a mid-range, so will be 2-pointers. 29-13, but quick on the other end. Gonna be Nelson with the transition points. 31-13. The $1:45 left to go. Dribbling, Pipkin stops and gives it to Story. Now Robbins, stopping, spinning, gives it to Brown. Now Pipkin again, shot clock again, trickling under 10. Pipkin stops, tried to drive and thread the needle. She goes down. The ball goes out of bounds, and a whistle is blown. Blocking foul going to be called on Burkhardt. It's going to be her second personal foul, second team foul of this period. As Pipkin will now go to the line once again. Currently has 5 points. Knocks the first one down. Pipkin has actually had double figures 28 times in her career so far. Graduate student from Henderson, Tennessee. She puts up the second one, and that one's good as well. 31-15, about a minute, 20 seconds left to go. Gilton at the top, tried to find Burkhardt inside. The ball rolls its way out of bounds. Waited for the whistle until it went out of bounds. So now Velocity will go over to the corner to inbound it for the Jacks. Up by 16. Selin stops the opposite way, gives it to Mathewitz driving. Tried to thread the needle to Burkhart. Now kick out to Vlostin. Too short, side irons off, and is brought down. And UT Martin again has a minute to work with here to kind of maybe push some momentum going into the locker room at the half. Pipkin near the Jackrabbit script to Story driving. Kicks out, but Selin's all over Pipkin. She drives inside, the ball's on the ground, so is Pipkin and a number of Jackrabbits. Pipkin gonna be helped up by Vlostin and Selin. 42.2 seconds left in the half. The Jackrabbits set to inbound now. Dribbling with her right hand across the timeline. Handoff from Gilton. Finds its way to Gilton again. Now inside to Selin. Tried to put it up. Couldn't get enough oomph under it. It just rolled off the top of the rim. Now the shot clock is off. Basically the opposite of what we saw at the end of the first period. Robin slowly dribbling it across the timeline. Clock down to 12 seconds now. Trying to find something to do with it. Clock now at 7. Not much open now. Pipkin on the left for 3. Too hard, bounces out. Quick whistle with 0.3 seconds left on the clock. Quick inbound. Gilton's gonna hold it, and that's how we finish the half. 31-15 here in Brookings, South Dakota. It's halftime. The Jackrabbits will go into their locker room, UT Martin into theirs, and we will step aside. You're listening to Jackrabbit Women's Basketball. We'll have some analysis, a look at the first half stats, and a look around the world of college basketball when we come back. 31-15, halftime. We'll be back right after this.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt, and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by Guadalajara's. Located at 1715 6th Street in the Village Square Mall, Guadalajara's specializes in authentic Mexican cuisine. Guadalajara's opens at 11 a.m. every day and closes at 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, at 10:45 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, and at 9:30 p.m. on Sundays. Weekly margarita specials are offered Monday through Wednesday. Guadalajara's, a proud sponsor of KSDJ 90.7.
I spent a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. And in '09, it was sparks from me, your chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
31-15, the score at halftime. Thank everybody for listening here on KSDJ. Time to take a look at the first half stats. Brought to you by the wonderful folks over at the South Dakota State Sports Information Department. I want to thank them for always being so accommodating for us. We'll start off with UT Martin. Let's start with the point totals. Got Ella Thompson. She's knocked down 2 off of a regular old field goal. Got Sharnice Curry-Jelks with a total of 6 points, 3 or 4 from the field. And Paige Pipkin has 7 points. She's 2 for 6 from the field, 1 for 4 from beyond the arc, 2 for 3 from the line. She currently has 2 personal fouls, 2 turnovers, and her plus-minus at -11. The Skyhawks, as a total, shooting 6 for 19, 1 for 8 from three-point land, 2 for 3 from the charity stripe, has 11 total rebounds, only 1 of them offensive. 10 total fouls in the first half, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, and 5 steals, plus-minus sitting at -16. Now looking at the Jackrabbit point totals, going from bottom to top, Drew Gilton, Haley Timmer, Callie Tyson, and Madison Mathowitz all have 3 points. Those all a whole bunch of different ways. We saw a couple of and ones in there. We saw a couple of 3-pointers.
Nope.
And stuff like that. A whole variety of scoring for this Jackrabbit team so far. Brooklyn Meyer with 4, also Maya Sellen with 4. Meyer shooting 1 for 2, Sellen 2 for 3. And the leading scorer for the Jackrabbits, excuse me, forgot about Madison Velostin. She has 5 points of her own. 2 for 4 from the field, and now we get to the leading scorer. Got a little ahead of myself there.
Oh, yeah.
Got to pull her back, focus in. Tori Nelson, 6 points, 3 for 5 from the field, 0 for 1 from the land, 3 total rebounds, 1 of them offensive, 2 of them defensive, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, and 1 steal, a plus-minus of 11. Now looking at the Jackrabbits as a team, there are giant chickens out on the floor. I was looking down at my sheet and I just looked up there. What a world we live in. There's a rabbit following 2 giant inflatable chickens off the floor.
You don't see that every day, man.
You do not see it. Only in Brookings, South Dakota.
Only in Brookings.
Right. 12 of 22 from the field for the Jacks, 3 of 8 from the three-point line, 4 for 7 from the free throw line, a total of 16 rebounds, 3 of them offensive, 4 team fouls in the first half. So that's definitely an excellent way. Never let the Skyhawks get into a bonus. Definitely a good start to this game on that front. 10 assists, 11 turnovers, 7 steals, no blocks, and plus-minus sitting at 16. At the end of 1, it was 15-6, and now at the end of 2, it was 31-15. That's a look at the first half stats. Thank you to the South Dakota State Sports Information Office for that one. When we come back, we will take a look at some scores from around the world of basketball, college basketball more specifically, and we'll talk more about this game. You're listening to Jackrabbit Women's Basketball on KSDJ.
Accidents happen far too often and never at a convenient time. That's why Dave's Collision Repair Center is here to help. Their highly trained staff will help you by working with both you and the insurance company handling the claim. The staff at Dave's Collision takes pride in returning your vehicle to you in a timely manner and looking as good as it did before the accident. You'll find them at 1019 Main Avenue South or online at davescollision.com.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt, and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
(31-15), about 5.5 minutes till we get things started for the second half. Bit of an exciting one if you're Jacks fans already. A lot of good things showing up as they gear up for their matchup against South Carolina. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. But let's go ahead and take a look around the world of college basketball. Here's my cohort, Dalton Sherry.
All right, here we go. We got Tuskegee going against FAMU, which is home of the band, home of the 100 band if you don't know it. So FAMU will beat Tuskegee 67-63. Gardner-Webb hosting VCU, and Gardner-Webb is up on VCU by 5 with the score 55-50. Franklin and I can't pronounce this one. Like Bellarmine, is that how you pronounce this?
I think it's Bellarmine or Bellarmine.
Whatever. So they're up on Franklin 62-26. Mayville State and North Dakota Comets are trying to come back. North Dakota up on Mayville State 47-32.
Yeah, they better.
South Alabama and at halftime, Louisiana Tech leads South Alabama 36-14. And we got this game with the Jacks coming out right now. The Jacks leading the Skyhawks 31-15 at halftime. South Carolina upstate and Morehead State 64-59 there. DePaul beat Howard 81-56. And Credit Word and Skynear beat Skynear 92-41. Boise State beat Evergreen 97-31. South Carolina State beat UNC Greensboro 64-53. And that will be it for around the world of women's college basketball. Here's my co-host, Braden. That was a lot.
That was a lot. We'll just do a quick spin around the Summit League this fine Monday evening. Currently at halftime, as you mentioned, North Dakota currently up over Mayville State 47-32. Colorado Christian going to be taking on Denver later on. Tonight, that's going to start probably in about 4 minutes is when it's scheduled at 7 p.m. down in Denver. Of course, this one 30-15 at halftime. Now we're going to take a quick look at the men's side of the Summit League. UND going to be taking on North Central University at 8 p.m. Tonight. Liberty taking on Oral Roberts at 7, and at 8:15 is when it is scheduled. After this game is done, we will have South Dakota State taking on Mount Marty from down there in Yankton. So we're about 2 minutes away from getting the second half started. We will go ahead and take a quick break, come back, talk about a few things, and then we'll get some things started. You're listening to Jackrabbit Women's Basketball on KSDJ.
Mike.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say how are you or get you could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
Welcome back here to Frost Arena in a little bit of a chilly night.
Chilly, icy night.
Icy night. A little bit of all of the above. A storm kind of sweeping through, but it's nice and toasty in here.
Oh, yeah. Nice and toasty. The Jacks are winning. What can you do?
What else could you ask for? Yep, Jackrabbit Twin Bill. Hey, man. Things are pretty good, if I do say so myself. Let's take a quick spin, just a quick spin around the area. Of course, we've got the men's basketball game coming up later tonight as well. The Grand Rapids Golds taking on the Sioux Falls Skyforce out in Michigan. Currently, I was looking it up. I stopped looking it up for some reason. My bad on this one. I think Grand Rapids was up at halftime. Forget it. We'll take a look at that later. But now UT Martin, the Skyhawks, setting up in their orange uniforms. A quick three coming from Robbins does not go. 31-15. The Jackrabbits moving right to left in their all-white uniforms with yellow and blue trim, blue numerals. We've got Selland on the right. Timmer up at the top, spinning around, gives it to Nelson. Inside, Burkhardt off the glass and good. 33-15 is the score to start things off. Dribbling with the left hand now is Robbins. Robbins gives it over to the left to Pipkin. Driving up at the point now. Bounces to Robbins inside to Curry Jelks. Curry Jelks working the paint, spin around off the top of the box, and in 33-17 now. Long three coming down. Jackrabbits lead 36-17. Peyton Burkhardt with that huge three. Coming down to keep it on, extending the lead. Curry Jelks driving, stops and pops off the glass and in. 36-19 now. The score is Gilton. Coming, stops near the Jackrabbit logo. Tried to bounce it in. The ball just stops on the floor and rolls out. It's almost like it stopped on command. I don't even know what happened there. Gilton looking to inbound now, gets it to Selland at the Jackrabbit script logo on the far sideline. Looking for somewhere to get it. She's stuck right there. She can't get it inside to Burkhardt. It goes off the arm of Pipkin. So the Jackrabbits will set up again an inbound. The shot clock at 16. Inbound up top, Selland, Timmer on the left. Inside, Burkhardt, and again, she's just doing everything on the inside, on the outside. 38-19, Jacks. Now up top, Brown brings the ball around and gives it to Robbins. Robbins out to Pipkin. Pipkin to Curry Jelks, pulls up, short, well, mid-range, I should say long range, perhaps. Two-pointer, 21-38. I can't make up my mind, Dalton. You're going to have to help me.
Well,
Maya Selland kicks out Burkhardt to Gilton, back to Burkhardt on the left, 3, knocks it down.
Yeah.
She's on fire.
3s for 3s.
41-21, the Jacks are up by 20. As Robbins holds the ball with the left hand, gets it over to Pipkin. Dribbling up towards the top. Stop, left wing, inside to Brown. Trying to find her way in there. Now Curry Jelks out on the left for 3. She's trying to do what Burkhardt's doing, trying to do everything for the Skyhawks. Difference is she can't get anything to fall. Gilton signals for Selland to come over. Now Timmer on the left. Gives it up, Burkhardt at the top. Selland, right wing, 3. Knocks it down.
It is raining 3s here in Frost Arena.
It may be chilly outside. It's hot in here, 44-21. The Jackrabbits are feeling the heat, man. Gives it over, Pipkin on the right. Bounces into Brown. Driving, working the post. Gets denied by Selland. Kelly Tyson, Maddie Velostin going in for Burkhardt and Nelson. Now an inbound coming from the Skyhawks. Robbins gets it in up top to Brown. Dribbling, driving, working it. Selland stuffs her again. Jackrabbits are working both ends of the floor really well right now. Gives it out on the right. Going to be Pipkin. Pipkin to Robbins for 3 on the right, and that one is good. Skyhawks find themselves on the board once again, 44-24. Now Velostin at the top gives it to Gilton. Driving on the left, stopping, driving the baseline, tried to get it out. The ball's on the floor. So is Gilton. So is Robbins. And the play is stopped. Ellie Colbeck coming in the game now for Gilton. She will inbound for the yellow and blue. Gets it up. Tyson at the point. Bounces into Velostin, spinning around. Thought about the shot, decided to drive and took it. Then it goes off the glass. Bounces around. The board down to Selland on the left for 3. That one misses. Falls down to Pipkin. Slowing up shop for the Skyhawks, seeing if they can get anything going here in the second half. 5.5 minutes left to go in the third, down by 20, 44-24. Robbins gives it to the left, now inside to Curry Jelk, spinning around. Gets a shot off over Tyson, too hard off the glass. Board falls down to Timmer, gets it forward to Velostin. She gets it, and the contact, and another and one opportunity for the Jacks.
Jacks are rolling here.
Foul gonna be on Anaya Brown. She comes out. So that is going to be her 4th personal foul. The team's first of the second half, and Velostin at the line. That one bounces around and is good. Velostin last year played off the bench in all 25 games. She's actually the South Dakota Gatorade Player of the Year and Midco Class A Player of the Year as a junior in high school, coming from Lenox. That was in 2018-2019. So playing for her home state here. 5 minutes left to go in the third. Curry Jelks gives it to Robbins at the top. Now driving, dribbling with her right hand. Now kicks it to the baseline, gets it over to Pipkin for 3. That one finds its way out of the basket and out of bounds. So the Skyhawks have it, the ball in hand. There will be a stoppage of play on the court. 47-24, 4:49 left to go in the third. Timeout on the floor. We'll take it with them. We'll be back right here on KSDJ. You're listening to Jackrabbit Women's Basketball.
I spent a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. And in '09, it was sparks from me, your chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back here to Frost Arena, 47-24. Peyton Burkhardt, no points in the first half. Coming out now, the leading scorer for the Jackrabbits. 10 points. She's 4 for 5 from the field, 2 for 2 from three-point land. She got hot to start things off here. And the Jackrabbits are up 47-24. A large part to her. She's doing a lot more than just scoring. She's working the inside. She's setting a lot of screens. She's been a vital piece for this Jackrabbit team. The Skyhawks have the ball. Bounces it inside to Thompson. Dribbling up, picked out Curry Jelks on the right wing. Give up top to Robbins. Shot clock at 10. Inside Curry Jelks gets stuffed by Colbeck. It'll go out of bounds. Brooklyn Meyer comes into the game. Maya Selland comes out. Now an inbound coming from Robbins. Gets it up to Story. Story drives, puts up a shot. No good. It's going to be fallen down to Meyer. Quickly up ahead to Colbeck. Colbeck stops, spins, finds the open Madison Velostin. A lot of contact going inside the lane. Brooklyn Meyer and Story get tangled up. Story falls on the ground. And she gets called for a foul. Second team foul of the second half for the Skyhawks. Quick inbound up top. Tyson loses it to Thompson. A quick shoulder nudge by her, saving the fast break, the possible fast break point. Now Paige Pipkin of UT Martin will come over to the near sideline by the scores table to inbound it. Inbounds into the backcourt. Robbins dribbling it up with her right hand. Goes out of bounds on the far sideline. Trying to get it to Pipkin. So we tick down to 4 minutes left to go in the third. 47-24. Coming right to left. Going to be Nelson. Tori Nelson stops, gives it over to Velostin. Inside now, Brooklyn Meyer off the glass, bounces around, gets her own rebound, fights her way out of it, kicks out to Velostin. Up top to Nelson for 3. 50-24. Jackrabbits more than doubling the Skyhawks. 3.5 minutes now left in the third. Dribbling around Curry Jelks, puts it up over a couple of Jackrabbit defenders. One of those Jackrabbit defenders gets called for a foul. Brooklyn Meyer. Going to be that one. And Shernice Curry Jelks at the line. First one is up and no good. Back irons off. Curry Jelks had her career high 21 points earlier this year versus Purdue Fort Wayne. Game happened on November 23rd. She's a two-time Ohio Valley Freshman of the Week. Second one does not go either. She remains at 12 points. Nelson dribbling now. Velostin at the right wing. Stumbles, gives it to Nelson. Driving, stopping, back out to Mathewitz. Mathewitz, step back now, drove the lane. Pop, shot, no good. Ping-ponged around, and it finally finds its way down to Paige Pipkin. Pipkin passes it across the timeline to Story, inside to Curry Jelks. Again, the defense inside the paint for this Jackrabbit team is really showing out now. The ball gets poked out again, and the Robins has it for UT Martin. Gets it to Curry Jelks now down by the baseline, out for a 3. That's no good for Ella Thompson, who's not played this year up to this point. This is her first game due to medical reasons. Mathewitz up at the top. Stopping, gives it over to Velostin inside to Meyer. Gets basically just ripped out of her hands by Curry Jelks. Now slow transition for UT Martin. Dribbling up with Robbins. Gives it over Curry Jelks left side. Up top to Thompson. Inside, Curry Jelks gets roughed up a bit. She goes onto the ground. Taking a little deep breath there, finally gets up. Brooklyn Meyer gets her second foul, the third team foul, and Jackrabbits currently on a run, 6-0 run to be exact, the last 3 minutes and some change. Robbins and the Skyhawks on defense looking to change that. Gives it to Story, now out to Cannon. Cannon over to Robbins, who dribbles up to the point. Back out Story for 3. That one is going to rim off. Falls her way down to Robbins. Dribbling left hand, gives it up to Thompson. Cutting around now, back to Robbins. Behind the back, between the legs, and now trying to cut the other way, and the ball escapes her right into the arms of Tori Nelson. Feed ahead across the timeline to Selin, driving left hand, kick out to Velostin for a tray, and that one's good. 53-24, buck 23 left to go in the third. Jackrabbits have really dominated this quarter. Now down, Cannon on the right elbow, driving, cutting, gets stopped, gives it to Robbins at the left. Now Curry Jelks down on the left baseline, tries to drive it, kick out Robbins, thought about the 3, doesn't take it, now takes it, she knocks it down. That's a good shot from her. 53-27 as we tick down under a minute to play. Burkhardt gives it over to Selin, now in the mid-range, and toilet bowls around and in. 55-27, 40 seconds in the third. Robbins slowly dribbling up to Mathewitz with her left hand. Now they hit the gas. Thompson has it, hands off to Cannon. Shot clock at 12 now. Stopping, Thompson takes a short range, didn't even hit the net. Brought down Nelson, coming the other way, stopping, circling herself around, gets stopped up. Looks like it went off the knee. Well, that's what the ref's gonna say. I can't see, it's on the other side and they were faced away from us. But the referee says it goes off of the knee of Nelson. She didn't seem to think so.
Nope.
Nevertheless, we play on. 14 6/10 of a second left to go in the third. 55-27, now down to 10 seconds. Dribbling on the right, gonna be Story. Cutting inside, stopping, puts up a prayer, back irons off, falls down to Burkhardt. Feet ahead, Nelson pulls it, half court. Almost got it, just a little bit more juice on it, and that would have been golden. 55-27 is the score after 3. We head to the fourth. The Jackrabbits have a huge lead, and we'll have that one for you right here on KSDJ. We will be back right after this.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
I spent a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. And in '09, it was sparks from me, your chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
It was a mess. I had to clean it.
(55-27). 10 more minutes left until the Jackrabbits notch another tally in the win column. Jackrabbits inbounds it. Drew Gilton in the backcourt now with her right hand. Gives it up to Selland. Now back to Gilton. Working over to Velostin now. Gilton again. She tried to get it into Burkhart. Skyhawks on the floor. Foul going to be on Sydney Boykin from Clarksville, Tennessee. The first team foul and her first foul as well. Selland puts up a mid-range at the Summit League logo inside the paint. And now another foul going to be on the Skyhawks. Anaya Brown.
Substitution number 25, shooting 2. Number 44.
So Maya Selland goes to the line, shooting 2. I mean, what can we say about Maya Selland? I mean, first one goes up and is good. She's on the Becky Hammond, Cheryl Miller, Wooden Trophy, and Naismith Trophy watch list. I mean,
that's crazy.
It's incredible. That one is good, too. One of the best women's college basketball players in the country, without a doubt. 57-27 now, 30-point lead. Thank you. I was like, is it 30? I think it's 30. I don't know. Again, math not my strong suit. Handy-dandy calculator over here.
Oh, I come in handy every now and then.
All the time. 9.5 minutes left to go. Kick out now to Story, backing off a little bit. Now re-engaging the gas pedal slowly. Kicks out to Boykin for 3, rims off. The shot clock did go off slightly, but the shot had reached there before. Gilton on the left wing now on the opposite side. Burkhard thought about it, holds the ball high up in her air now, gives it to Velostin. Back all the way to the left to Timmer. Now Gilton. Now Selland fakes it, driving, stopping, long cross-court pass. Burkhard left baseline. It almost went out of bounds. Thank goodness for the hops. Timmer, drive inside the lane, off the glass and good. Jackrabbit team's really showing some good things so far. Their record, if you just look at it, doesn't say very much. But it's a team. The ball goes out of bounds, by the way. This is a team that's lost to the likes of Creighton, which was ranked 21st at that time. They beat Louisville, which is something to have on there. And then 2 free games on the road to Washington State and Montana State after being on the road in the Bahamas for a little bit. Now coming back on a 2-game win streak against Northern Iowa and Kansas State. They're looking to make a real good push into the conference season. Boykin takes a 3 on the right wing, no good. As I was saying, this team really showing a lot of good stuff heading into this final week of non-conference play. Selland kicks it out. Timmer on the left for 3, and she knocks it down. Now dribbling up. On the left is Story for 3. It bounces off the back iron, brought down by Burkhard. Velostin. It's going to be almost picked up by Gilton. She just can't get it over the size of Curry Jelks. Now Pipkin driving with her right arm. Now her left hand gives it on the left to Cannon. That one is short. Rebound down to Burkhardt, who gives it to Selland. Gilton, a long feed ahead pass to Selland. A little bit behind there. Handoff to Timmer, cutting. Now Velostin and Burkhardt on the left. Standing Gilton at the top and Selland at the right. Now Gilton, left wing three, a little bit off the mark. Still brought down by Curry Jelks. Pipkin brings it up. Now Story gets it over to Cannon. And it looks like we will have a timeout. So 6 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the fourth, 62-27. Timeout's called, we'll take it with them. We will be back. You're listening to Jackrabbit Women's Basketball on KSDJ.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Accidents happen far too often and never at a convenient time. That's why Dave's Collision Repair Center is here to help. Their highly trained staff will help you by working with both you and the insurance company handling the claim. The staff at Dave's Collision takes pride in returning your vehicle to you in a timely manner and looking as good as it did before the accident. You'll find them at 1019 Main Avenue South or online at davescollision.com.
$62-27 left to go. That's not right. That's not right. 7 minutes left to go. 62-27 is the score. A little battle for the ball underneath the paint. The Jackrabbits come out with it. They have the advantage. The 5-on-4 now. It's Mathewis spins it around and waits for Curry Jelks to catch up. On the opposite side, Vlad get out on the right. Triple teamed back. Now Pipkin shooting the line, free throw line.
I did it.
In comes in terms of free and now 12. 6 around. Robin driving. No good. Nelson into the glass. Pulling around, toilet bowls out. Can't get it. Well, team to get it. Oh, Tyser give right baseline. Trying to work far side. Scott ready to clean her time. In mind her up the paint. It's a kick out. Instant pointers. Number.
Oh, yeah.
She gets 60 left to go. Women's back.
Yeah, I get Murray got